The United States has used unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones, for counterterrorism more than 400 times in the last 5 years alone. President Obama admitted last year that drones have become a cure-all for terrorism, a risk-free way to eliminate suspected terrorists in places such as Pakistan, Somalia, and Yemen. The potential virtues of drones have not gone unnoticed by other countries. Here are 3 things you need to know about the proliferation of armed drones. First, other countries are actively acquiring armed drone technology. In addition to the United States, the UK and Israel are the only other countries to have used armed drones in combat, but other countries appear to have acquired armed drones as well. In particular, China and Iran have touted their armed drone capabilities. Russia, South Korea, India, Turkey, and Taiwan claim they are developing sophisticated armed drone capabilities as well. Switzerland and several European Union member states have collaborated on a technology demonstrator called the Neuron, which would be a stealth armed drone. And the EU has expressed interest in developing a drone similar to the US Predator or Reaper. The second thing you need to know is that the spread of drone technology could lower the threshold for conflict. Some believe that armed drones are no different from an armed F-16 because both can be used for lethal force, but drones are different. This technology does not place human pilots at risk, while delivering operational value added. This has arguably led the U.S. to use force in ways and places that it would not have otherwise. If other countries use armed drones in similar ways, we are likely to see states carrying out cross-border attacks less discriminately. This is especially likely in places such as East Asia, as well as other flashpoints for conflict, such as the Middle East, Caucasus, and Africa. We might also expect to see governments use armed drones to suppress domestic unrest. States such as Turkey, Russia, Pakistan, and China have all experienced significant opposition movements, and armed drones could prove attractive in eliminating these so-called terrorist groups. The third thing to know is that it is possible to limit drone proliferation. Currently, the transfer of armed drones is regulated by the Missile Control Technology Regime, which was concluded in 1987 and intended to regulate nuclear-capable missiles and related technologies, including armed drones. However, the MCTR is non-binding and faces challenges in remaining relevant, and many countries that are producing or interested in armed drones are not members. In addition to adhering to the MCTR's export guidelines, the U.S. should also consider the way its own practices are setting precedent for how other countries think about the appropriate use of armed drones. The United States should address the lack of clarity about its targeted killing policies, for example, whether human rights law applies or just self-defense, and which terrorist groups and associated forces can be targeted lawfully. As the main and quite visible actor that is using armed drones in combat, the United States is uniquely positioned to take a leading role in shaping the international norms that guide how armed drones are used in the future.